The Phantom Stranger number 5, written by Dan DiDio and J.M. DeMatteis, art by Brent Anderson. So last issue, Phantom Stranger came home, found his family was missing, a babysitter was killed, and then Pandora showed up and said, I think Spectre did it. So this issue opens up at the Gotham City Police Department, and Phantom Stranger just busts down the door and is like, someone walk me to James Corrigan. And everyone's like, all right, well, slow down. You just busted down our doors. And he just like blasts them all away with magic, just being like, I could literally tear your souls from your body right now, but I ain't gonna. So I'm just gonna freeze time and none of you are gonna bother me. And he makes his way over to James Corrigan's office door, blows it down, and James is just inside typing at the computer, and he's like, yeah, just hold on one second, I just got to save this file, there's some donuts over there if you want them. He's like, oh, I'm sorry, you think I'm a joke? He's like, no, I don't think you're a joke, I don't think you have any humor at all, but yeah, that's, things are the way they are, I'm not going to change, you're not going to change, we're all just who we are for all of life, and me, I'm the Spectre. And so he transforms into the Spectre, and basically the entire issue here is Spectre's like, I hate you because you betrayed me to make me, and also you're a bad person, and Phantom Stranger's just like, you took my family. That's literally the whole of the issue. But in order to break it down slightly good, or better, Phantom Stranger tells Spectre, like, look, I don't know why the big G wanted you to become the Spectre, but like I did what I was told to do, and it was for the greater good. And he's like, okay, here's my response to that. You are Judas Iscariot. We know you're Judas Iscariot. You are a bad person. Like, even if you're trying to atone, you literally worked with Jesus Christ, and you still managed to be a bad person. Like, it doesn't get much worse than that. And he's like, yeah, no, I get it, but I'm like, trying to do better or whatever. I'm trying to make up. And Spectre says this whole thing like, yeah, well, I had a woman in my life as well. You have your wife. I had a girl. I was trying to save her. And then your actions caused me to die. So who's really to blame here? So Spectre gets the upper hand when he's like, yeah, here's the thing that I know about you. You don't care about your family. And he's like, that's not true at all. I care. I'm Philip Stark, my alter identity, cares about them, and I am he, therefore I care about them. And he's like, no. You would give them up. You would betray all of them if it meant that you didn't have to deal with your eternal curse anymore. And he's like, don't think I would. I mean, I can't say for sure, but I don't think I would. And mind you, this whole time, like, they're growing in size. It's just a huge magic fight. So we get a little cutaway to Terry 13, and he's put back together his lab after Phantom Stranger tore it apart, and he's like, wow, I've done some more digging, and I've got files on all these mystical peoples, and turns out John Constantine is requesting that Phantom Stranger joins the Justice League Dark, and yes, I just happen to know that now. And he's trying to figure out why. And as he's asking why, another person in the room is asking why, as well as a whole bunch of other questions, because it turns out the question is in the room. And Terry 13 recognizes him, and he's like, oh my God, you have a question. Question's like, oh, am I? Or am I someone else? Is that just a label given to an unknowable person? And it's like, okay, yeah, we get it. You ask a lot of questions. But basically, he says, like, look, I know you're a part of the Trinity of Sin, and I've got files on Pandora and the Phantom Stranger, but I don't got nothing on you. And he's like, and do you know why? And it's like, okay, yeah, we get it. That's your thing. But basically, he says straight up, like, Phantom Stranger, he's not capable of having friends. You may think you're friends with him, but he's not capable of having friends, and he will betray you. So I need you to do something for me. So then we see in the magic fight that Spectre's gotten the upper hand on Phantom Stranger. He manages to swallow him, like literally grew to a size where he just hump. And then he's like, all right, well, that's it. You're now part of my void. And it turns out, no, he isn't. He's managed to survive. And he's like, oh, even if you think that you are this godly vengeance, you're still just James Corrigan at the bottom of it all. That's how you see the world. And you brought your rage with you, even into death. And that's the real difference between you and me. You volunteered for this job. Even if you didn't know it, you volunteered to be the Spectre. I was maybe born as the Phantom Stranger. Maybe that's who I am. Maybe I'm a dick, even in my genetics. But regardless, I worked with Jesus. You ain't God. And so he uses his cloak, wraps it around the Spectre, and turns him into a statue of wood, which, yeah, I guess when you're working with magic, you can really just do anything you want. And he's like, all right, look, I believe you, because during this fight, he straight up said, like, I didn't do anything with your family. And he's like, regardless, I don't believe you yet. I believe that maybe you didn't do anything directly, but I need to get the full story out of it. And he's trying to understand what's going on with that. Meanwhile, Spectre bursts free out of the wooden prison, and he's like, no, you are far worse than me, stranger. And basically, at this point, God steps in. The big voice and the light from above steps in, and he's like, hey, cut it out. And he points out, like, Spectre, you are not supposed to be God's wrath. You're supposed to be my desire for justice. And stranger, we're only in issue 5, so I can't tell you what your major purpose is. But it will soon be discovered. And as the voice coalesces into a form that can be drawn on page, it is a Scottish Terrier. It is a small dog, and it is just speaking to them in God's tongue. And Spectre's like, I'm sorry, are you the form of the dog? And he's like, yeah. He's like, you don't have a sense of humor, but I kind of do. Also, God is in everything. So I may as well talk through like an insect or a mote of dust. I could even talk through one of you if I wanted to, but I'm not gonna, because you both are acting like children. And at that point, Phantom Stranger's like, well, he took my family. And Spectre's like, I did not. And he's like, okay, well, did you ask him if he took your family? It's like, no. It's like, okay, well, he didn't take your family. And also, Spectre, you are such a whiny little bitch. Stop being so much fun. You guys are cosmic entities. You literally are made on the level of me. I need you guys to balance each other out. That's your purpose, is you guys balance each other. So either play nice or go back and sit in the corner. And at that point, Phantom Stranger's like, okay, but what about my family? And God says, go answer the phone over there. And the phone starts ringing. And Phantom Stranger's like, but I froze time. How could this happen? And God's like, are you serious, man? I'm literally God. Are you? Go answer the phone. And so he answers the phone, and on the other end is Terry 13. And he's like, hey, so I've got some info about your family. And Phantom Stranger's like, how do you know about my family? He's like, I know a lot of stuff about a lot of stuff. He's like, okay, well, fine. Give me some answers. And Terry 13's like, well, here's the thing. I don't have a lot of answers, but I do have a question, as he's like sweating profusely with the question standing behind him. And that's the issue. I want to give this like a super high rating just by the virtue of God is a Scottish Terrier. Like, I love that. It's been seeded over the past few books. I knew it was coming, but I just love the reveal of it. But yeah, this one, it is basically just a philosophy fest masked as a battle where it's like, oh, what is true good? What is true evil? What is justice versus vengeance? It's a whole thing like that. And while I enjoy that, I think it is a good thing to have in comics to make the ideas bigger than just, oh, who punches the hardest. At a certain point, they were just kind of repeating themselves over and over again. It didn't feel like we were making any sort of progression on this idea and the merits it has and this idea and the merit it has. It was just kind of like, we're born the way we are, and justice and vengeance and blah, blah, but they repeated the same stuff over and over again. So it kind of faltered in that form. Overall, I also liked the question popping up. It's an interesting character. I look forward to seeing what they do with him, but I got to give this one probably a pretty neutral, like 7.5. It's good. It's got some great visuals to it in the magic fight. It's an interesting issue, but it's definitely more of a let's talk about who the characters are rather than let's actually do anything about it. So 7.5.